Welcome in to Slaughterhouse Sports. Spencer G here, and welcome in to the show. I want to thank everybody for watching this show, and wanted to express opinions on the National Football League. Okay, I'm going to provide you guys with my authentic opinion about the state of the National Football League. We're going to talk about the state of the league, and we're going to talk about the combine. That's what we're going to do, and then we'll wrap up this segment by talking about player interviews. Who impressed today in the player portion of the defensive line and the linebackers? Who was really, really impressive? Because do we want to say who interviews poorly? Is that appropriate to say that about a 21-year-old that's going to accomplish all of their dreams and get paid a lump sum of money to continue playing the greatest game, which is the game of football? But today, huge breaking news, and that is the NFL is abolishing the chain gang. The NFL is abolishing these men that hold the chains. It's a thankless job where a lot of times they get rushed into by the players. However, the chains have always, since the game of football has been invented, they have always represented the spot for a first down marker. The game has been around since, I believe, 1915. And the chain gang has always represented it. To me, it's brought about great drama. It's fantastic when you're on the field to associate with some of these guys. I've gotten the opportunity to coach football, to be on sidelines for big, big games. And just seeing these individuals, it brings a smile to my day. I enjoy it. It allows them to bring home money for their families. I'm sure that they're going to have great memories of being on the sidelines for these massive, massive moments. And now the NFL is stripping them of these memories, of these moments. They're also stripping away the fans of seeing the tradition of the game of football, of seeing the pageantry. That's what football is about to me. It's about the pageantry. It's about, okay, how do the guys cut the grass? How do they paint the end zones? Like the imaging when you go to a game, when you're used to something, that's why I grew up loving the game of football. It's because of those little things. Just like in baseball, it's the Cracker Jacks, it's the peanuts, it's the sound of the ball hitting the mitt, like little things, little pictures. Like that's what makes you human. That's what makes you real. That's what makes you feel alive. And the National Football League is turning the NFL into computerized, just emotionless, robotic. They are turning the game into a video game. They are turning it into AI, into robots. They are taking away human beings, and they're taking away humans just like, and then we're going to see Major League Baseball. That's another sport that's going to take away, again, human beings, okay? Humans do make mistakes, but the odds of a chain gang making a mistake is very, very rare, and sometimes they just get highlighted in a couple of games, but for the most part, they're accurate. And guess what? If they're a little bit inaccurate, guess what? I'm willing to live with it because the game is played by humans. It's reffed by human. It's coached by human. There's human error. The human beings do their best. I'm not in favor of accuracy above everything. I'm not. I don't love constant replays. Like in the NBA, I don't love the challenge system. Or in Major League Baseball, if you have an umpire who calls it a little bit, he calls the strike zone here, he calls balls there, he calls strikes there. Again, that's part of what's interesting is that pitchers then have to adjust in Major League Baseball. I don't like to see the NFL become computerized, okay? I don't like to see the NFL formed in a bubble. And what the NFL is doing is they're taking away everything that they've done in the past 10 years has literally been a detriment to local fans. Most of everything they've done in the last 15 years. What have they done? They've eliminated preseason football. What have they done? Training camps are no longer remote for most of the NFL teams. They're mostly at their team facility with a select number of fans there so that people can't see what they're running. Oh, the audacity for a 10-year-old kid and his dad to see what play you're running in a damn training camp setting. Come on. Open up training camp to the fans. And then taking games away from your local markets, shipping them overseas in hopes to gain new fans and taking away your football games from you. The Philadelphia Eagles got a home game taken away off to Brazil. So the game is all about exporting. All about exporting. It's all about eyeballs, okay? That's what it is. It's kind of a selfish money grab, and that is what this is going to be. And just like Jeffrey Lurie, the owner of the Eagles, said, you know what? Even though fans have watched games in the cold, and even though we have a cold weather identity, and fans grew up going to Franklin Field, and fans that are in their 50s and 60s grew up at the Vet, grew up at Lincoln Financial Field, watching games in the cold, watching games in December and November, okay, bundling up and playing outdoor football the way that God intended the game to be played. We're thinking of putting a dome over the stadium, making it an indoor stadium, woohoo, just so that we can host concerts and a dang Super Bowl or a Final Four. The city's going to make so much money. You really think that an average person that lives in the northeastern market, whether it's New York or Philadelphia, would care about a Super Bowl? The tickets will probably be $10,000 for that Super Bowl anyway. Okay? Who cares who cares about the television dollars? Who cares if the city's making a substantial amount of money on it? Who cares about the people in government in the local cities? It's about the fans of the game of football, okay? And why are you taking away jobs from the people who have the chain gang, okay? Oh, a couple of Bills fans on social media spouted off because they didn't like that Josh Allen, they didn't like the spot of Josh Allen? Is that really why you're doing it? Or are you really going to change overtime because of Josh Allen, because of one example in the playoffs? It's just like when we wanted to challenge pass interference reviews. So the National Football League, okay, 18 games. Now there's 7 teams in the playoffs, okay? The NFL just continues to change and change and change. So much change has gone on in the National Football League with the rules. The kickoff's not the same anymore, okay? Overtime rules are not the same. The playoffs are not the same. The season's expanding. Preseason is completely canceled. The NFL Combine, players are not going to be running in the Combine anymore, so that Combine, it's just, that is the nature of it. A lot of things have gone away from the fans, okay? And I believe that this won't really be the end of the decrease in jobs that we're going to see across sports and across the game of football. This is only kind of the beginning, all right? And just having chain gang on the field, it's a great tradition. It didn't hurt literally anybody. And again, everybody gets to play by those men and women who hold those chains, okay? And guess what? For the chains, you know what? It's fair and even across all balances. They're not moving it. So both teams are playing by the same rules, okay? The chain person is not favoring one team or the other, okay? They're not. But the National Football League right now is so, it just, the NFL can literally pull out a player, okay, for substantial parts of the game. The NFL, if they choose that a player is saying or taunting or saying something inappropriate, they can remove that player from the game. They could eject somebody, okay? It's almost like college football targeting. They could suspend certain players, and it's not the same across all bounds. So the NFL, it used to be a game taken I just think that the NFL in the past used to be a little bit less serious, okay? It used to be more favored towards the players and towards the actual fans, okay, than it is today. And it was less about getting things right. It was less about how do things, oh my gosh, how do they look optically? What's the PR move to attract the most fans? What's the most sanitized way that we can have this thing? No, the NFL used to be a rougher game, okay? It used to be rougher. It used to be more physical, less favored towards the offense. The games were local. It was more structured, 16-game seasons. So there's a lot that I really liked about the NFL, and there's a lot that I highlighted in what I just mentioned that I don't like. Don't like the constant changing of the playoff format, the regular week to the regular season. Those two things were mind-bogglingly awful. The Hall of Fame speeches being cut. When Roger Goodell cut the Hall of Fame speech to fit in more advertising dollars for commercials, that absolutely set me off. And today, getting rid of the chain gang, just cutting all these jobs, just cutting the fabric of football, I really disliked it from the surface. And I think it could be the start of more things to come. I really do. I think that the sport is going to be unrecognizable, okay? I think the sport's going to be unrecognizable. Almost like the combine's unrecognizable, almost like bowl games. So just a lot of things to vent about the National Football League, okay, that I don't like. I still will watch it. I'd say that right now I do like the NFL more. Maybe it's if my team was maybe the Philadelphia Eagles were my favorite team, I would love the NFL, but I'm not going to be somebody that just automatically supports what the NFL does. I love the NFL because I grew up watching something for 25 years of my life, and I enjoyed it. I didn't want to see that be altered. I did not want to see the chain gang be removed at all. I didn't want to see those people lose their jobs. I didn't want to see those people be eliminated from competition, have their jobs stripped away, have their press credentials away. And I mean, everything in the NFL, everything is buttoned up. Everything is watched over. There are not a lot of room for dissenting opinions in the National Football League. That's why the league might make money or might be successful with the ownership, okay, is that you kind of have to, abide by a lot of things in the NFL, all right? And hopefully we might even get somebody from the chain gang that can talk about their experiences. Maybe they're okay with not having it anymore, but I doubt that would be the case. So let me know what you guys think. I know that a lot of people are going to say it's about the accuracy. You're making a mile out of a molehill. Who cares? Who cares? Okay, just like the 17th and 18th game. But these are all just little death by paper cuts to the game that I think that we grew up watching. I really do. So that is my opinion. Let me know what y'all think about that, okay? NFL Combine. We'll end it with the Combine. We won't make this video an hour. We'll make it about 15 minutes, okay? Favorite interviews from the Combine today. I thought that Jalen Walker had a great day. I think Jalen Walker really is intelligent. I loved hearing everything that he had to say. Jay Higgins from Iowa is brilliant. One of the most mature, level-headed people that I've heard in a very long time. Jack Sawyer came across pretty well today. The guy from South Carolina, I'm going to butcher his name. He is a defensive lineman from Georgia Tech. He had a strong performance today on the mic. Also, I think it's Michael Williams from Columbus, Georgia. Had a fantastic Jalen Carter story. Came across really personable, really easy to work with. The thing is, everybody's going to see these players who fits what is easy to work with. Some players you're going to think, some teams might think, oh, that player is kind of too talkative, too outgoing. I don't really vibe. But some people are going to like it. They're going to say, that kid has personality. And some might say, okay, this quiet player, I really think he's relaxed. I think he's a chill guy. I think he's going to fit in perfectly with our locker room, where some others might be like, he's quiet. I can't get him out of his shell. I have trouble communicating. So it's all in the eye of the beholder, okay? This should still be subjective, okay? In the NFL, some players are going to work for some teams, all right? And it's all about finding your fit. Let me know what y'all think about the changes in the National Football League that were announced today at Combine Day 2 for National Football League coverage.